Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894 for a Man City versus Newcastle preview. Let's get into our thoughts. Okay, Luke, it is time to get over our woes from the Bernabeu. We are knocked out of the Champions League, but it is time to forget about that. We have 4 absolutely crucial games coming up in the Premier League. Win all 4 of these, we are Premier League champions. And I think this first game against Newcastle is going to be a massive test of the character of our team, if you like. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and even in the mainstream media suggesting that loss to Real Madrid in the manner that it was could actually affect the psychology of the team in general, the mental capacity of the team in general, and could damage us going back into the Premier League. And there obviously is potential for that, but I would like to believe, and I hope it is the case, that we show great mental resilience and real character to not let this knock us off our perch and not let this damage us going into these last 4 Premier League games. We have Newcastle, followed by Wolves, followed by West Ham and Aston Villa. All four of them very, very winnable games. And I think putting in a massive performance against Newcastle this Sunday will be a massive statement that the game against Madrid hasn't bothered us enough to stop us, winning the Premier League. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, mate. Yeah, look, Wednesday was one of those nights that I think that everyone just wants to forget, like the Champions League final. Look, Champions League will be another thing that we'll talk about in another video, but I think especially for today, with the Premier League, it's important just to get these 4 wins, get the league title done, and get into the summer. I think it's just like, obviously, no matter what happens, if we win the league, it's a great season. But obviously, there's always been that kind of disappointment in the background, obviously, of perhaps we've won the Champions League or whatever. But that's always a what if, and that's always something that you think about at the end of the season. But as you said, it's important to just get back on the horse and just go for it and get that win this weekend, because it's all about getting that kind of momentum now. Because obviously, it's got wins out of ourselves now after Wednesday. If we can just get that win against Newcastle, even if it's like a 2 or 3-0, it's still a win of some kind to get the confidence boosted going into the last 3 games after that one.
I think obviously picking up the 3 points absolutely is priority. Whether it's 1-0 and it's an own goal or a scrappy goal, it doesn't matter. Getting the 3 points is priority. But if I was Fernandinho, if I was De Bruyne, if I was Pep, any of the proper leaders in that dressing room, I'd be telling the lads, we need to go out and put on a real performance here. I know winning, like I said, is the main thing, but let's put on a serious performance and go for a thrashing if possible. Now, I don't want to disrespect Newcastle and say that we will thrash them regardless, but I think the hunger levels, if the character and the mental resilience is what I like to think is this team, they should be going out to put in a serious performance and make the statement that we are not that mentally weak. We will not let being knocked out of the Champions League damage us in our pursuit of this Premier League. Now, I'm never one to discredit the Premier League, because I don't want to discredit the Premier League. If we win the Premier League, it is a super season, a fantastic season. Winning the Premier League has been made look easy now by Pep Guardiola, and people just expect it every single season. But to win the Premier League over a 36-game campaign, to be the best team over 36 games, is an unbelievable achievement. To win the Champions League, you have to have a bit of luck and you have to play well. You look in terms of draws now. You can call me bitter all you want, but Liverpool are the polar opposite to, say, Real Madrid. They had an easy route to the final. Madrid had a tough draw to the final. You need luck as well as performance, but you can't hide in a league campaign, is what I'm saying. You need to be consistently good every week. So to win the Premier League, massive achievement, and we will always celebrate it in fantastic fashion. But listen, we need to, basically, this Sunday, it's not just an average preview, this, where we talk about what we'd like to see from the players. This Sunday is basically, Luke, is a massive test of the mental character of our players. How will they turn up and how will they react is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. This is all about character now. It's all about the mentality. Look, yeah, obviously, I thought on Wednesday that they would get a job done. I thought the mentality of last season would have carried on, but obviously it's Madrid and that's different. So that's a different point of view and different discussion altogether. But this is where the mentality, as you said, it's all about the mentality and showing that fight. Because trust me, the fans will thrive off seeing that. If you show some real intent on Sunday, just honestly, I think a good 4 or 5-0 will be incredible. But I said, obviously, 3 points is what matters. But it's just seeing that fight and that hunger to bounce back and just finish strong. Because if we finish strong and win the league, that's a real statement from us going into summer, after going to next season. Because it's all about showing that fight and showing that intent. And I said, it's massive. It's a massive 4 games.
Naturally, the fans and the players and the staff and the dressing room will feel deflated after what happened on Wednesday night. But a massive performance and a show of grit and determination and resilience from the squad on Sunday will go a long way to rectifying that, and the fans will go, yes, this is the reaction we wanted. We can put up with losing the Champions League this year, but all we want to see is a team that will go down or go up fighting. We just want a team that will fight for the jersey and fight for what we want and fight to be successful. That's all you want as a fan, to see your team fighting. Whether you win or you lose, you draw, you want your team to show determination and hunger. And I think that's what we will get. I think every player in that dressing room will be more hungry than they were before Wednesday now to get this Premier League done and dusted. And I expect a big performance. So get your thoughts in down below on the conversation we've just had. I think it's an interesting conversation to be had, and it's going to be massively interesting to see how City and Pep react this Sunday following Wednesday night's results. So we're going to go over and see who we chose for our predicted starting 11, and we'll say why we've chose them, and you can give your thoughts too. Okay, we're going to pop up our predicted starting 11 for this game on screen for you to see right now. As always, get involved down below in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on our selections, and would you select anybody different? In nets, he's been under some scrutiny in recent days for his performance against Real Madrid. That is Ederson. He didn't have many shots to deal with in the Bernabeu, and he didn't deal with anything, essentially. I was massively disappointed with Ederson because I sing his praises very regularly, and he didn't deliver when it really mattered. So, I don't know. Is there questions to be had over Ederson? I think that's something for the clubs to talk about in the summer. I don't think there is, because I think generally he is very good, but I suppose, I don't know, it's just a disappointment overall. But we have to go with him. There's not many greater options left in the club. I certainly wouldn't be going with Zach Steffen, no disrespect to him. The back four, Walker looked like he was injured once again, came off in the Bernabeu, and he had an ice pack on his leg as well. We've gone with Cancelo, who was decent for the most part in the Bernabeu, if you ask me, and he's a player who we'll be looking towards against Newcastle to break them down, using his attacking outlets, and he'll also have to do as good a job as possible as he can on, say, Maximan or whoever's playing on that side of the park for Newcastle. That won't be an easy task. Laporte and Diaz, I would have gone for Stones and Diaz if Stones was fit, because I've come to the conclusion, people, and we'll probably do a video on this, I just don't feel confident in Laporte the same way I do about Stones. I just don't. I really feel Laporte is a talented footballer, but he doesn't give me that sense of solidity that John Stones does. So I'm reluctantly picking Laporte here, and it's purely because Stones is injured. I think that game in the Bernabeu, basically, I want to throw in there, I think it helped us learn a lot about individual players. We know that all these players are massively talented, but it's in those serious, intense situations you learn about the character of the player and what they really are. We learned about Ederson, we learned about Laporte, we learned a little bit about Diaz as well, but I think with Diaz you can put it down to lack of experience. The guy's really young, and it's his second season playing with this club and understand the pressures. So give me your thoughts on basically what I'm saying, and you can give yours in a sec, Luke. Zinchenko at left back. Ake could feature here, but we thought Zinchenko was... I thought for the most part Zinchenko was actually okay in the Bernabeu. I thought he did for the most of the time what he was asked to do, and you can't really fault him. Losing the game wasn't his fault. But listen, it's the best back four we could have gone with. I would have had the Stones, like I said, but look, it is what it is. What do you think of this, Luke?
Yeah, it's the best back four we can go for right now. Go on, Ederson. For a while now, I've been kind of questioning him a little bit. I haven't really been openly questioning his role in the club as well. I love him, but his shot stopping is definitely an issue, because we've noticed, especially this season in certain games where we conceded goals, he could at very least saved a couple. Especially, obviously, on Wednesday, Rodrigo's second goal, or in the first goal, if that was Alisson, he probably would have been saved.
Yeah,
I'm not. Look, I mean, obviously, we'd like to debate Alisson Ederson we want, but I genuinely think recently Alisson's a better goalkeeper because Alisson can do the shot stopping, which is he can do Ederson can do passing a lot better than Alisson can, but Alisson makes up for that through shot stopping, and we need that kind of keeper who's going to be great in a situation like Wednesday, where it's getting rampant and getting heavy from opposition. He can be about a couple of saves. Look, obviously, that it's what ifs, but I'm just sort of making the point that I do understand the whole Ederson debate at the moment, but I think that's something that we need to sort of talk about in a video in the summer when the season's over and we've got a chance to sort of digest things a bit more. Same with the Cancelo wasn't the best. I think there were times at the game where his decision making wasn't the best, and I think especially was it the first or second goal, the way that defensive line was. And the way he was so out of position and sort of played with either Vinicius or someone else onside for either the first or second goal, that was really concerning because I know he's not very defensively aware, but he should have at least made it difficult for them to get him behind him. And Laporte, I agree with you. I think Diaz is 24. He's still a young man. He's still growing into that leader, but he will be imperious and incredible in another few years. He's still nowhere near his prime, so I'm giving him plenty of time. But Laporte, yeah, I'm getting to that point now where I actually would consider getting rid of him and getting someone else to replace him. Because I like John Stones and Ake. I think if Ake and Stones can improve and improve, I think Ake actually fight for that spot because Ake's been brilliant recently this season. But yeah, I agree with you on the port though. But I think the rest of the back four, Zinchenko and Diaz have been great. I mean, I've always Zinchenko did well coming on Wednesday. So the back four and keeper, yeah, I agree with.
It's a tough role to play in the defence for City, and like I said, I think we're learning slowly, and I think I agree with you. I'd be open to the idea of seeing Laporte go and bringing someone else in. Moving to the midfield, they play a lot of football, but my ideology behind this selection for Rodri, Bernardo, and De Bruyne is there's 4 games left. They're 4 must-wins. Put out your best 11 if they're fit every single time. They're just going to have to do it. I know Bernardo played 120 minutes in the Bernabeu, but if there's anybody in the pitch that can keep playing football week in, week out, it is Bernardo. He's naturally extremely fit. These players, they're just going to have to do their normal jobs, not let Wednesday, knock them down too much. They're going to have to get back on the horse and go again and do their usual roles against Newcastle, Luke.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, look, I thought Rodri apparently was unwell. He played 99 minutes, so I'll give him respect. I think he did what he could considering how he was feeling. So, in a way, it's not his fault at all Wednesday, really, for what happened. But you can tell he wasn't his normal self going into the extra time anyway. But hopefully he's recovered now by Sunday to get into that prime form. By the way, I think for me, he's been player of the year this season. I know Bernardo's been incredible, but Rodri's been so consistently good throughout the entire season. And he's been someone that I'm so proud to have at this club. He gets it, he fights hard, and that's what we need in a player. Hopefully, we'll see more of that as well next season as well. And Bernardo and De Bruyne, I thought Bernardo was exceptional as well. Bernardo was probably the one player that never stopped. He kept fighting, he kept believing, and that is one thing that we have to make sure that stays in the club as well. We have to keep an eye on the Silva this summer. I know we're obviously looking at Pogba and De Jong and that right now, but there's one player we have to keep, it's Bernardo Silva. He is so important for this football club. And as De Bruyne on Wednesday, look, I mean, he didn't really get. I mean, obviously he had a odd shots now and again. But he didn't really have a lot to work with considering how he was going forward in the first half. I mean, yeah, he came off second half. Look, it was his prime De Bruyne Madrid game, but what he was given, he could do. I don't think he could do a lot more really, considering how the game was going really. But I mean, I'm sure he'll be back to his full form on Sunday as well. But that midfield 3 for me is perfect in every way. So I'm happy for that midfield.
I still believe, regardless of Wednesday, that when this midfield are on form and they're all fit and full of energy, they're the best midfield in the world. In terms of the front 3, we've gone with the exact same front 3 that played in the Bernabeu. None of them were really effective in the Bernabeu, if you ask me. I know Mahrez got his goal, but all 3 of them really struggled to get a grip hold of the game and get into their own flow. You can either put that down and credit Real Madrid, or you can say it's poor from City. I think it's a bit of both. Foden on the left, Jesus up front, Mahrez on the right. Yes, Mahrez got his goal. Other than that, I thought he was fairly useless. I'm just being honest. Jesus was overall fairly useless, and Foden was overall fairly useless. It was just one of those days, but like I said, it was one of those days, but all 3 of these players are more than good enough to get back on the horse and get back into form on Sunday, and that's why we've chosen them, because they're the 3 best front 3 options. You might see Grealish play, because I thought he was quite good when he came on against Real Madrid, but I still think Foden is that main left winger. We just have to hope that this front 3 can get back into scoring form. Like,
yeah, Gabby's been incredible recently, but that's where Gabby for me struggles. It's that consistency. I know he's been scoring 6 goals in the last 3 games before Wednesday, but he didn't even turn up on Wednesday. I barely remembered he was on the pitch at times. Same Mahrez. I know Mahrez is 32 goals season, which is ridiculous by the way. But for a winger, but I know Salah's doing different levels. But the fact that we didn't even remember Mahrez or even Jesus on the pitch for most of the game is a telltale sign that things need to change this summer. I'm not saying Mahrez has to go necessarily, but even Sterling came on, didn't do anything. I mean, Grealish for me is actually getting better and better this season. I know it's £100 million. I know goals and assists aren't there. I know. People care too much about stats than everyone actually watching a game of football. But Jack Grealish for me, it was very lucky to not score two in that game before. It could have been 3-0 and game done. But again, what if? But it's the front three, especially Phil Foden, right, as well. I mean, Phil Foden for me is getting better and better. I mean, this season I wouldn't say it's been good as last year, but it's still been a good season for him. He's still been getting goals and assists and getting better and better as a player. And yeah, he didn't do very much on Wednesday, but again, I think the whole team just wasn't there. I think the whole team was trying to go through the motions to try and get a result. But yeah, we certainly need to get this front three firing, because next season with Haaland coming in apparently and Alvarez coming in with big strikers coming in, I'll probably change the system going next season. It's gonna be a big summer, so these three need to start firing now. I think if they want a chance of getting this team.
And these three need to start firing if they want to get this Premier League. Do you know what I mean? If they want to win the league title, these three really need to get back into gear. Look, it's going to be an interesting game. I think the main thing to look for in this game is how do we react, and I'm predicting a big reaction. I'm very optimistic about this team. I trust this team to show character, and I'm going to predict a 4-0 City and Bernardo Silva goal. Why not? What's your score prediction, mate?
I'll go 3-0. Obviously I love 4 or 5, but I just want to see a reaction. It's all about the reaction this weekend. If we see a reaction, a bit of fight and a bit of passion going into these last 4 games, that is brilliant, and obviously the win as well. 3-0, De Bruyne will probably get a goal and a couple of assists again, get those stats up is what we need to see. De Bruyne, Mahrez, and I reckon Jesus again as well right now.
4-0 from me, 3-0 from Luke. Get your score predictions down below in the comments and give us your thoughts overall on the game and the remainder of the season. The remaining games, we're very much looking forward to seeing how they pan out. Leave a like in the video as well. It helps us massively, and subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 2.5k. We're getting there slowly but surely, and your support helps us massively. Good night and God bless.